What is up, movie viewers?
Dynamo Views and Reviews here, asking, what you watching? Well, today I am watching The Changeling, starring Lakeith Stanfield from the show Atlanta, Clark Bacon, Adina Porter, Jared Abrahamson, and Alexis Louder. It is created and written by Kelly Marcel. It is directed by Jonathan Van Tulliken, Dana Gonzalez, Melina Tasuka, Sullivan Nain, and Michael Francis Williams. It is produced by Raylene Krug, Kelly Marcel, David Noller, Sue Nagel, Melina Matsokas, Victor Lavelle, Megan Ellison, David Wilkins, Lakeith Stanfield, Patrick Chu, and Jonathan Van Tullen. Now, The Changeling kind of reminds me of Rosemary's Baby, right off, with a bit of a twist. It starts out with a beautiful love story. Now, this show is still a work in progress because there are new episodes that are being released every Friday. Now, the synopsis of it in a nutshell is that this black guy by the name of Apollo meets a librarian by the name of Emma that he falls madly in love with. It is a fairy tale romance from the start. Emma had a prior trip that was already planned before meeting him, a trip where she was to visit Brazil, but she wasn't sure if she wanted to return. But after meeting Apollo, she returns from this trip in Brazil, and she's very anxious to meet him. She wants to see him. They eventually get married and have a son who is called Brian. Now, Emma shares when she returns from her trip the experience that she had with Apollo. Her experience where she is walking in the forest and finds this old black lady with two different color eyes. She's a old lady and she's sitting by a waterfall. She looks kind of scary to me right off. To me, she is laughing. And you know, in movies, that is always a sign that that person may very well be evil, that evil grin or that laughter. But anyway, Emma approaches this woman. She walks up and she sits beside her. And the woman begins to tie this red string around
Emma's wrist,
explaining to her that as she is tying these 3 knots on the string, that she must not remove it from her wrist or her 3 wishes will not come true. Emma then appears frightened as she gets up to leave, and the woman is laughing, you know, the evil laugh. And there was no explanation about what or why at this point in the movie. But Emma describes what she saw and how she got the string on her wrist. She told her fiance at that time, who was Apollo, about what the elderly lady told her, and that was not to cut it off. She shared her experience as they were eating over lunch, and afterwards Apollo just cuts the red string from Emma's wrist, and he kept that string, luckily. But this was before they got married or had their little baby. Now, here is a fun fact that I read in regards to what is an actual real tradition when it comes to the tying of the string on the wrist, which is very much a common practice in Brazil. It's a tradition, and it is practiced even today. It is said that the string grants 3 wishes once it falls off on its own. There's said to be a popular church in Salvador, Bahia, that people come to from everywhere in the world. They sell these popular, colorful ribbons that say Lembraco do Senhor do Bonfim da Bahia, remembrance of the Lord of Bonfim of Bahia. The tradition is to have someone tie the ribbon around your wrist, and they are making 3 knots. And with the tying of each knot, you must make a wish. People will wear it until it gets really old and the string simply falls off by itself. which is how your wishes are said to come true. But you are not supposed to cut it off. It should fall off naturally on its own. So after Emma gave birth, she began to exhibit exhaustion and symptoms of depression, which is common after doing so. However, once she starts getting strange texts and pics on her phone that are about her baby, she begins to behave strangely. And it way surpasses the postpartum depression that one commonly experiences after giving birth. Emma completely loses herself and seems to be morphing into someone almost unrecognizable. Her behavior and her personality, she is like in a depression. So in a fit of rage, she mysteriously does something unthinkable. And she simply disappears. No one knows where she is. No one can find her. And the result is Apollo is spending his time trying to figure out what happened. Where is Emma and where is little Brian? Why and how? She just vanishes into thin air. He's pondering and longing for answers that causes him to exhibit irrational, emotional behavior. And it requires professional assistance on certain levels to help him deal with the aftermath of what it is that he has already experienced. There, in these groups, he meets some mysterious characters that further inspires him to continue his search for more answers regarding Emma and her strange behavior. Now he has become completely consumed with finding Emma and discovering what really happened to her. It is apparent something even more bizarre, even more sinister may have occurred during Emma's time away in Brazil that has not yet been revealed. And Apollo, through the help of one of the weird people he has befriended in this survivors meeting, has embarked on a death-defying crusade through a New York town that is unknown to anyone. No one in the rest of the world know that this place exists. So far, I have to give this movie a 3.5 or perhaps even a 4-star because it has kept my attention and it has me eagerly awaiting, and I'm just excited to see the next episode. I'm hoping to find out exactly what has happened to Emma and their child Brian. I must say though that the last 2 episodes, even though they revealed some new stuff, it just did not reveal as much as I wanted it to. And many of his the people that were around Emma and his so-called friends, they are acting kind of suspicious now. And his weird comrade that journeyed with him to this place that they found is revealing himself to be someone other than what he represented originally. And I think that will turn out to be something that may have some supernatural stuff. I don't know, because the voices that he were giving me, I'm like, ooh. But I will just have to continue to watch to see for certain. Apparently, many of the people around him aren't as innocent or nonchalant as they would appear to be. And something about the ladies in the library, along with the survival group, leads me to believe they may be a part of this whole debacle. And what is about, I don't know what it is about Apollo's father and mother's relationship. It hasn't revealed itself. What happened there? And did anyone else find it odd that the main character, Apollo, is supposed to be of mixed race, his mother black and his father white, but physically, his appearance, he just looks to be a black man. And his wife Emma is also of mixed race. Yet she does appear to be of mixed race, but their child is even darker than Apollo. He doesn't look mixed at all. I just found that noticeably kind of odd and even a bit hilarious, but that may be a part of the storyline. Who knows? But this movie series is based on the award-winning novel by Victor LaValle, The Changeling. It is a thriller. It's full of mystery, drama, and even horror. But The Changeling is rated TVMA. If you are interested in checking it out, you most certainly can because it is now streaming on Apple TV Plus. If you have not already, please be sure to subscribe and leave me your comments on this movie and check out my upcoming review of comedy legend Lunel and the first ever stand-up comedy of Country Wayne. This has been Dina Mo Views and Reviews. Join me for my next movie review and our recommendation. And I want you to remember, it's my view. Now, what you watching?